Welcome to Portia is Queen, the podcast. I'm sitting here with my girl, Monique Bell of Revamp People, and we're talking about life, love, and business. You ready?
Hey, yes, I am ready.
Great. Let's go ahead and if you could give us a quick introduction about yourself and.
Okay, my name is Monique Bell. Everybody calls me Mo. I let them call me Mo
Okay.
because, people forget Monique. I am a stylist and I am a fashion designer. I'm an upcycle fashion designer. I'm from San Francisco. Everybody call it, I'm from Filmo. So you're right, Filmo, from San Francisco. What else? What else can I give y'all? That's it. We're going to
That's
keep it
it.
simple. I'm going to let you,
Okay.
we're going to do it through the podcast.
Absolutely. We have a lot to talk about today.
Okay.
And one of the things that what I like to do is let my guests know why I asked them to be on the show.
Okay.
Right. So when I met you, we were at the entrepreneur event hosted by Terry Griffin in San Francisco. And one of the things that really stood out to me was your testimony about who you are, why you got started, and obviously your fashion, right? You walk in, you're dynamic, you're bigger, larger than life, and it just really stands out. So I was like, I definitely need to have her on my show and connect with her and in the future. So I'm just happy that we were able to make this happen today.
Thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
I do remember you saying, I'm going to have you on my podcast.
Yes. And the yes was so easy, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I appreciate you welcoming me. I really appreciate that.
For sure. So one of the first things I like to talk to you about is what you do, right? Because it's a very unique skill set to have to be a stylist, a fashion stylist. So tell me about that. Tell me how you got started. Tell me just why fashion.
So fashion has always been my love. I've loved fashion since I was a little girl. Played dress up all the time. But fashion always stuck with me. It was something that I always, how can I say? I had fun with it. I made looks up. That's where my revamping came at. I revamped my clothes. I did my jeans. I bleached them. I did all type of like fun things with my clothes. And since I didn't have it like that, since we were, my mom was a single parent. I had to make things work and I had to think outside the box. So I will take my pants or I take a shirt, rip it up, sew it back together, add more fabric to it. So that's the revamp part, but it started when I was very young. And then as I grew up, fashion was always something that I loved. I love getting dressed. I love putting things together, and I felt like that was just my go-to. I always was an artist, though. I've always painted, drawn, all those different things, but fashion always was the thing that brought me right back. It just kept going back and forth with fashion. In high school, I cared about how I looked with my clothes. I thrift shopped. I did everything. So it just started from young all the way up. But as I got older, I was dating and, in school trying to figure myself out, and I fell out of fashion. And I ended up getting in a bad car accident. And I was highly depressed. I was going through a lot of stuff. And I was trying to figure out, like, who am I? What am I going to do? And so I start picking up clothes again, and I start revamping, like, literally. And then I created my first coat for Gunna Goes Global, and I gave it to him. It was a Tupac coat. I remember like it was yesterday. And I didn't even have the money to get the coat. Like I literally scraped up money to get the coat, the patches. I remember finding like super, super cheap patches, and I like put this coat together. And I was like, you should wear this in your video. And then I started making coats. And then, it was pretty much depression. Like I was depressed and art was my outlet.
Okay.
And once I got into it, I've been nonstop. And yesterday I just posted something on my story. I started November 19, 2017.
2017, yeah.
So that's when my first like shoot and everything. And it was definitely started as a hobby, but then that's when it all developed. And yeah, it really came from depression, but I've been doing it all my life. So yeah, but I ended up, what I would say, I tell people, when you're supposed to do something, it always come back.
Yeah.
It literally came back to me.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, but it was supposed to be. It was meant to be. Nothing will never leave you if it's meant to be for you.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
Especially if it's something that is part of your purpose.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And I heard you mention that you suffered depression due to your car accident. Okay. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
You know, that's your testimony, right?
Yes.
That's where it started. And well, not where it started, but that's where your life changed.
Yes.
Right. So if you don't mind sharing.
So basically, got in a bad car accident. I broke my back in 2 places. I broke my arms, shoulder arm, and then this one arm. I broke my ribs, 3 on each side. I have a brain injury from the car accident. So I really went through a lot. I was in the hospital for 2 months. My life just drastically changed, like overnight. Like literally one day I'm saying, Mom, I love you. I'll see you in a minute. I'll be back. Then I'm waking up in the hospital 2 days later. And it changed me. It made me, I didn't remember a lot of stuff either. And I didn't remember people. Like I didn't remember my life. I didn't remember a lot of like stories and things I went through. So that alone like changed who I was in the person. So that old person literally died in a car accident. Literally
was gone.
Went away. And I was trying to reintroduce myself to the old person, but I'm like, how can I reintroduce myself? I don't even know this person no more. Yeah. So that made me depressed. It also made me depressed because I felt pressured to be that old Monique. Yeah. And
like people around you.
Yeah, like my family and friends, like, oh, you fine, you blessed to be alive. And which is I was super blessed. Absolutely. And I'm still today, like, I'm so thankful to be here because I have a second chance. But at that particular moment, telling somebody that's going through all this pain, they're learning how to walk, talk, even read. Like I had to do everything all over again. And that was hard. Also just remembering things. And like if I put something down, I would lose it.
Yeah.
Literally lose it. I'll put something down. I'm like, oh my God, where did I put? For a long time, I was leaving like keys in the door. Like because I could not remember. Like my mental, I don't even know, but it would literally disappear. Like I'd be thinking about something that really disappear. So I kept going through these cycles of memory loss, remembering stuff, people like telling me, okay, you gotta come do this. And it was just so many different like layers of the healing. And it was really, really hard for me to grasp. And I couldn't really I didn't have the gratitude there because I was going through so much.
Absolutely.
And I was like, I don't know what to be grateful for. I'm going through so much right now. And I believe that made me depressed because I didn't know how to live in the moment and understand this is a temporary thing. You will move past this. Now I know this now. And baby, if anything happened again, we not going back that way. Absolutely. But we're not going that way. But in that moment, that particular moment, even years after, I still did not know. Yeah. So I had to kind of go through it to get that. And so now I understand it. And that made me the woman I am today. But it also took a long time to get out of it. And I think a lot of times people don't understand mental health is one of those things that you really got to get help for. Mm-hmm. And when you go through trauma, something traumatic, like you go through, you seeing somebody get shot or something like that, or you get shot yourself, or a car accident, or you seeing somebody pass away in front of you or something like that, all that is trauma. And if you don't get the proper help, you may and may not come back out of that depression. And I'm so grateful that I did. I'm grateful that my art saved me. I'm grateful that I found God. Like my relationship with him just started developing, and I started feeling that energy between me and him. And I start like, you good, like you're fine. You just need to know that this is your moment, and you need to go through it, and you need to feel what you're going through. I think sometimes people try to delete it because they're trying to bring that old person back.
For sure.
And that old person back not there no more. And so they're holding on to that old person, and you're this new person. So what I would say is to anybody, embrace that new person that you are, and then become your authentic self. Don't let nobody tell you who you are. You know who you are, and just keep reintroducing yourself to yourself in the morning so you can know, okay, this is me, this is what I want. And that's your biggest goal that you need to do daily, is reintroducing yourself
Every day.
and knowing who you are. And that's what helped me get to this place now. I knew that I was an artist. I knew that I was a designer. I knew that I was a stylist. So once I started embracing these parts of me, I started healing. And then I went back to therapy. Therapy.
I was gonna ask about
It's
therapy.
so important. I
Mhm.
went back to therapy. Therapy changed my life drastically because I was able to understand why things was happening. I was able to understand the vocabulary to things, like putting a word to how I was feeling, because those are things important. And just understanding like the will of life, like that whole thing where you got to balance these things to be able to be okay daily. So my depression was one of those things that it changed my life, and I want to help people with mental health, because it's something, if you don't get it underhand, it can go left, and
Yeah.
you can get to a suicidal place. And but it has something to do with that will of life, where you have to make sure all those things around is in place, and if
Yeah.
they're not, then the mental health will come in. So I had to start building those things up: fitness, eating well, praying, staying one with myself, wanting to get grounded outside, walking on grass,
Yeah.
like just everything, hugging trees, just everything you can think of to get in one in tune with myself. Yeah, mental health is a serious one, and I think a lot of people need to take it really serious, and don't think that you got it all or you could figure it out because you're in a good place. You never know what will happen where your mental health will fall
Absolutely.
short. So
Absolutely. And one of the things that I know I went through my season as well, right?
mhm.
I think a lot of people do. It's
Yeah,
just hard for a lot of people in our community to admit that they are going through
yeah,
depression and things like that, because we've also been taught that that it's weakness, right?
mhm,
And having PTSD from seeing your friends get shot and
yeah,
murdered in front of you, it's normal, right?
yeah,
And it's something you should be over. And in our community, there's a big struggle and a disconnect in judgment, right? That gets passed,
yeah,
and not a lot of relatability and resources um, that look like us, right?
yeah, yeah,
To lean on.
yeah.
So,
I agree.
yeah. Do you feel like that contributed to deepening your depression, because the answer will always be you're lucky, you're blessed, and
Yeah.
it was resentment built with that
Yeah,
statement.
yeah, it was. I will say that it was, because the person that I am, I've always been a resilient person. Always, I've always had challenges in my life. Having learning disabilities, being just different. And now that I am older and I understand myself, I know that it was a reason why. I didn't know then,
Yeah,
but I know now I was always a special person, different, unique, resilient, a rebel. Like, I'm okay with all those terms. Like, I'm okay with them now, but I do think that people put stuff on you and you just don't understand what it is. So you're gonna fight to be this person that they think you are,
absolutely.
and you're not. Like, I could literally say, like, after the car accident, I was in the lowest place that I ever been. I didn't understand what was going on. I was trying to figure myself out daily. And so for people to say, you're blessed, you thank God you here. You need to be thanking God you here. And I'm just like, yeah, it's true. So I'm believing it. And
Absolutely.
then that's put me into this thing where that's not how you feel though. So the new Monique was like, that's not how you feel though.
Yeah, you have to honor how you feel in
Literally,
the
so the
moment.
old Monique over here just sitting like this, like,
Yeah.
hey. And then the new Monique, like, that's not how you feel. Because the
Yeah.
new Monique was there. The old Monique wasn't there no more. So the old Monique just throwing the hands up, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to tell you. So I think people, like you said, don't have the experience. They haven't been there before. So they don't know how it feels to go through a car accident, break your back, your arms, ribs, getting impaled with a long rod. Like a lot of people didn't get what I was going through.
Absolutely.
I know that now, but then I did not know this, and it it made me learn how to have empathy for people, because to ask questions.
Yeah.
Why do you feel this way? Or, just to feel them in a different way and not assume that. And also, too, the four agreements say don't make assumptions. And that's I love four agreements, like one of my favorite, but because that helped me with getting this way and having that empathy with people, because sometimes it's just the simple questions. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Or why do you feel this way? Sometimes people don't even do that. They just cut people off, or, oh, she tripping, she this, or they assume that you're this way, and that's not necessarily true. Sometimes people literally are going through something and they don't know how to get out of it.
And they don't know
and
the
most
words
people
to put
don't
to
know
it.
how.
Yeah.
Say it again.
And they don't know what words to put to how they're feeling.
Yes, that's why therapy is important.
Absolutely.
Because your therapist is going to tell you, look, you are not feeling that way. You are upset. You are frustrated. You are angry, instead of, or you are resenting something. Yeah. You are getting these words so you won't just think, I'm angry all the time. I have anger problems. It's so many different feelings that we feel daily, and knowing the vocabulary and knowing the words to put to them is so much better, because then you can clear it all out and understand why I'm feeling this way. But I will say, yeah, I think people pushed a lot of stuff on me, and I took it on, and it made me backtrack a lot with my depression. And I just recommend people not to do that and ask questions. When people go through anything, allow them to go through it, and don't push your belief on them, because you are not in that place. Yeah. So you like, well, you're fine. You're this. It's fine to be this strong person, but not all the time. We're not strong all the time, and that's okay. That's a part of life, So
for sure, we're all humans.
Yes.
And having a human experience.
Yes.
And no matter how strong you appear to be, everybody has their moments of weakness, right?
Yes.
And just like some of the things that I heard you talk about was learning to speak again, and things like that, like relearning completely from square one. And that's something that most people couldn't do. Some people have a minor setback and never heal and grow from that. And here you are opening businesses. You're out here just showing out in the world and in the community. And I mean, it's just such a honorable thing, right? But it's not something that happens for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Especially going through what you've been through physically, emotionally, mentally.
Yeah. I that's what made me know that God is real.
Yeah.
Because I definitely was like, I was thinking about it the other day, like, turning, actually a couple weeks ago, I was turning 40, and I was like, I'm so blessed, because like an accident happened when I was 30 years old.
Yeah.
It was that year of 30, and I'm like, I'm about to do this. I'm gonna open this business. That was my mindset. I was in a different world. I was, I had a relationship going. I'm like, I'm gonna do. I had a plan, and it didn't go well, and that's a part of life. I've learned how to be a problem solver and not look at things as this is the end of the world because I'm going through this. Sometimes your setbacks is your get back. It's like your best get back. And this was my best get back, because all the things that I felt like I was going to fail in, I end up prospering and did not think that I will even be here because of being in that hospital, waking up and all the pain, the beeping of the monitors, laying flat, and they telling me like, you know, you broke your back, you know, you might not be able to walk again. I'm hearing all these different things, these diagnoses this whole time. And I'm like, I just made 30 years old,
Yeah.
you know? That's why I say people don't get too caught up in age, because sometimes it ain't your time.
Right.
Sometimes you gotta go through those things so you can build up for your 40s.
Yes.
I believe that happened so I can build up for my 40s, and I'm so excited for my 40s. I was like, you know, I was telling one of my friends, like, girl, we gonna get it these couple years, because I learned so much in my 30s. I failed so much. I was hurting. I cried so much in my 30s. Woo. I could baby cry me a river like Timberlake, Justin Timberlake. I cried so much, but I'm happy that I shed those tears because I wouldn't be able to smile today. Like, you know, and it's the thing that people, they get stuck on, like that sadness, but you can't have sadness and goodness. You gotta have a little bit of everything to get to the next level. And it helps you. This is what I've learned. It helps you learn how to deal with the hardships, the hard times. When you in business, you're gonna go through stuff.
Yeah.
You're gonna have hiccups, but you gotta know how to get back in there and do what you need to do. And it's not easy. And when you go through tragedies and losing a parent, losing things, you know how to get certain things back because you've been through all this stuff. So you just know, okay, look, I got to improvise. I got to figure this out. And you become the best problem solver. A best business person is a problem solver.
Yes.
So, you know, for me, all those things that happened, I done lost my mom, my grandma, my father. I done lost all my parents. I done lost my brother that I grew up with. He wasn't my real brother, but he was a brother I grew up with. And, you know, sometimes you don't have to have blood for somebody to be your family. And I lost my brother, watched him get murdered on TV, like in the court.
Oh,
Been
wow.
through a lot of tragedy. You know, and it's a trip how, like, after the car accident, I literally remember trauma more than anything, which is weird, but
those memories
those memories was
lose,
there, but like the happy stuff was like faint, and I couldn't remember a lot of stuff. But having all those tragedies, so you know, sometimes I be thinking to myself, like, how do I even get through? Like, I done been through all this stuff. But it has built me for this warrior that's coming for the next level. It's coming for my spot, my crown, you know. And I already got the crown. The crown is there, but it might be a visible crown to some people. I know it's there, you know. So these things are there for you so it can build you for the next level. And I just say, like, my 40s, I'm ready. I'm geared up. I got my armor on. My armor of God, like, I'm ready to go. So, you know, it happens for a reason. And we just got to be prepared for what's coming, because stuff comes and you have to know how to deal with it. You got to face it, and you can't back down to a place where, you know, you get low and depressed and all these things, because it's still going to be there. It's not going to disappear.
Yeah.
It's something that I've learned. So, you know, I think humans kind of put you in those boxes because they're in a box.
Unbox me.
Yeah.
Okay. I cannot stay in a box.
They don't understand. And they put you in that box because that's what they understand. So you tear yourself out of that box and you keep going.
Yeah.
So I've definitely tore myself out of a lot of boxes.
You go, girl.
So, yeah.
Oh, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I heard you mention that you were in a relationship during that time frame, right?
Yeah.
So that is a challenge in itself, right? And I'm not going to put words in your mouth or anything like that, but my question is, did you suffer abandonment in that situation, or
I feel like, yeah. And I feel like I also didn't know how to be in a relationship too, so I probably abandoned him as well. And I feel like we had a conversation. He was like, I felt abandoned by you, but I didn't know how to be there for anybody.
You have to be there for yourself at that
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
And, for that, but, and this is also too, I was with him for a very long time. We was in a long relationship. And I could say we had good and bad times. I would never say anything bad about him because that was a choice that I chose in my life. And everything is a lesson and a blessing.
Yeah.
But at that particular time when I chose to walk away because I chose me.
Absolutely.
And that was number one. And I want to, when I do find my amazing husband, when he come, because he need to come home.
Come on.
But when I do find him, I would know that it's him.
Yeah.
Because number one, he gonna be God sent. God gonna send him. Number two, it's not gonna be complicated. It's when we are having hard times, we both know what it is because we're talking to each other, we're communicating, and we are angry at it when we have arguments or we angry at each other. We know how to come back and say, hey, I didn't agree. We can talk it out without, I'm really big on when I don't want to ever go to sleep angry with my partner. I want to be able to communicate because communication is so key with everything in your life. And it's something I really understood in my 30s. And I feel like with him, we didn't have that. Yeah. We had a rapport, like we just was used to each other. Yeah. And we did have amazing, like when I think back on some things, we had a lot of fun times. Like I say, I'm really big in football. We had that in common. We love football together. But it was just at that particular time I had to choose myself. Yeah. And I don't regret it. I've been single for heck long after that, but I also know that the person is coming is going to be a good, it's going to be, I wouldn't say right. Perfect, and I mean, I say perfect, but it's going to be a match that is undeniable, unresistible. It's going to be just something that I know is going to be there. And I have really good discernment. I feel like I've worked on myself a lot. And I feel like I'm so healed that I think that's probably why I'm single.
Yeah, it gets hard once you actually start healing. Yeah. It's harder to just choose someone.
Yes,
they really have to match, and it's just a little bit more difficult. To just pick a person.
Yeah. So these last couple of years, I just been choosing myself to be better. I still have a lot of things that I need to work on. Like I said, I had to start from ground zero. So it's a lot of stuff that I had to relearn completely. A lot of those that already have these type of skills, I had to relearn them all over again. So I still have stuff, but I will say my healing path has been so cleared, and it's a lot of stuff that I know what triggers me, what don't trigger me. I know how to, be quiet and not talk when I'm angry. It's just a lot of tricks and things that I learned in therapy and things that I've sat down and read different types of books like Four Agreements. Everybody should read that book. But different books like that and all these different things to help myself be better and healed in love. And I always am big on moving in love. So I just want somebody to be in love with me. I don't want to just be having somebody just there.
Yeah.
And I don't want a sea filler.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be single.
Yeah. Until the right one. You can't. You cannot get a new car into that driveway if you got a Buick and they're broken down, right?
Yeah. So, and a lot of people have sea fillers. Yeah. And I don't want to be a sea filler for somebody else, and I don't want to have a sea filler. I'd rather be by myself, go home, do what I need to do with my routine, get up, go work out, and have this life with myself, knowing how to be by myself too, because it's really big to have a good relationship. You gotta know how to be by yourself. It's one of the best things you can do for yourself is to be by yourself, know who you are, because you're learning yourself constantly. But I also think sometimes being single is dangerous a little bit.
It can be.
Because you have your way. So I would say that. But yeah, I think our relationship played its course. It just was one of those things where that's what it was. And I just chose to choose me. I don't regret it. I still love him to death, like because I'm a person, I always move in love, and everybody that I come encounter with, I want to move in love and love first before anything else, because then you start doing stuff you're not supposed to do. So, I just, that was one of the things with my car accident. I'm like, I'm choosing myself. After I was like, I'm choosing myself. This is not for me. So, yeah.
Okay. And so are you currently dating or open to dating?
This is a good one. So I am openly dating, but guys ain't cutting it.
Yeah.
So I've been kind of like cutting people off.
Yeah.
Like if it ain't fitting, it ain't working, I just kind of let it go. Like, and it's all love. Like I'm like, this ain't for me. Like, and I don't like when people in general, but men, when they're not consistent.
Yeah, inconsistency is,
and then you can't fake inconsistency either, because
You
I'm a
can't
catch
fake
on. So please don't try to, after this podcast, please don't try to come and be like, let me be consistent for a little bit. You always show your cards later. So
You
I'm
show
just saying.
your cards. You show your cards. Inconsistency is the worst killer in dating.
So
because you get that momentum up and then it's really a letdown.
Yeah.
And then
just show up, and also too, when you are consistent, you show up for yourself.
For
And
sure.
it shows first. If somebody's inconsistent with themselves, they're gonna do it with themselves first. So it just starts with self. So when you are coming into a situation with somebody and they're not showing, they're like that with themselves. So I just say, I don't need to be in it, because you need to learn how to show up for yourself first before you can show up for me. And for me, I show up. That's one thing. I am that person to show up. I maybe gonna show up for somebody before myself sometimes, because I'm how I am and I move in love and stuff. So that's why I am single, because I'm showing up for myself. So I'm very intentional of that, because if I'm like that with you or somebody else, I have to be like that with myself. I can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna show up for you. So, but I've learned that a lot of people are opposite.
Yeah, and we can't really expect that from someone else.
Yeah, I
if they
can't put it. I
give
can't
to
project
themselves.
it on. Yeah, I agree.
And I feel like with my experience in dating, after healing and going through, I just kind of allow people to be who they're going to be. I don't force. I don't project what I want out of you, what I want you to be. And I'm just gonna say, okay. I don't want it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let them expose themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the last guy and I really liked him.
Yeah,
but I did.
It's hard when you like him.
I liked him when I first met him.
Right.
I was like, I like him.
Yeah.
But I had to let that go, because it seemed like he wasn't interested. And I feel like when a man is interested, he gonna show.
Yeah.
He gonna show up. He gonna show out. He gonna pop out.
All of it.
And he was not doing that. So I was like, and I'm okay with not being for you or anybody. Like, I'm okay. So, but I know that I'm not, now that I learned, because before I used to be like, try to give people a chance all the time, every time. No, this is not for me. And, I wish you will. And I had to send one of them, like, don't come popping up, texting me or hitting me up, because that's what was going on. He kept popping up. I don't like that. I think for me, I've learned how to deal with it. But like back in the day, I used to be like, don't do that to me.
Yeah.
But like you say, you can't put yourself on somebody else. So I let him show me who he was, And I was just like, dang, because I liked you. But I don't think, I think maybe our maturity level is just different. And it's no shade to him. I don't think nothing is... I think he's an awesome guy. Like, I just think that sometimes timing is not there with people too. So
and they have to also go through their process as well, right? So I feel like one of the things that I said, I was like, I want someone who's been through something, went through that process of growing and healing from that, and then call me. Yeah. Because if you're still at the entry level, we're not the same.
Yeah. And a lot of people are, and even women, like, even me, like I was at a place where I was not ready to date. Like I was just not. But once I started healing, I was like, I think I can, date and I can be those qualities. But you got to know them boundaries. You got to say no when it's not for you. Knowing yourself is number one. being your authentic self, because then you know what you want, what you don't want. And now, like I told somebody the other day, you got to know yourself sexually, you got to know yourself physically, mentally, all that. What makes you, what makes you tick, what makes you happy, what makes your heart flutter. You got to know all these things, because if you don't, and you get with people and they making you feel a certain way, but you not able to identify what it is. You know, so I had to understand, okay, who are you and what makes you happy? So when you doing things, dating yourself, like I know for a fact flowers make me feel amazing. Amazing. I love flowers. I buy flowers for myself all the time just to look at them. But this lady said, I got it off of it was IG or something. I don't even remember exactly who said it. But when she said it, I cried because it's so true. She said, flowers are for the present. They're supposed to die. Yeah. And when she said it, I was like, oh, because we have to understand sometimes a person, thing, place, whatever, is just for a moment. It's just for a present. Staying in the present will always keep you where you're supposed to be. When you're too far in the future, too in the past, you're not gonna get where you're supposed to be because you in the wrong place, and it's already happened. The future has not happened. So being in the present is everything. So flowers, when she said that, I was like, wow, that's why I like flowers, because I like to be in the present. I like to be in the moment.
Good.
Yeah.
That is so good, because it just made me think about like a past relationship, right? Like I felt like he was always thinking about the past and talking about his past. And I was always looking so far in the future. This is what I want to do. This is what I see for us.
Women do that.
But nobody was in the present.
Yeah. Yeah, see? And women, we do that because we want all these things. And that's why you should plan out certain stuff, but you plan for now. Yeah. Short term, and then plans. Somewhat in the future, like a couple months ahead, but it shouldn't be so far out. And also not being able, those boxes are not going to be filled because you didn't do all this preparation to get to that. Also, I learned that too. Like if you're not preparing yourself for it to have it add up down there, it's not going to make sense. You're too far in the future. So flowers to me is very much so that, and it made me feel so good because I was like, wow, like I understand how and why I need to be in the present. And that's so important. Like I think even with dating, just living in a moment, enjoying your date. I remember I had went on a date with somebody, it was a while ago. And I was worried about just stuff that I shouldn't have been worried about. And I'm like, why? And I can't even enjoy this date. Like, you know? So because I was not in the present. So it's so important. Like that's such a thing.
I don't think you understand how eye-opening that just was for me, because I've been also working to stay in the present and to enjoy the present. And since I have been doing that, I wake up happier. I wake up less stressed. Right. But at the same time, there's still that dynamic of looking at that future, right? And just looking at, oh my God, you know. So like, no, but I'm just saying it's really good, because if someone's always looking at the past and you're always looking at the future, no one's here in the present, right? In that present moment. And we're looking at, no one's enjoying the space that you're taking up at the time. Yes. You think you are sometimes, but that's where people sink into these unrealistic expectations. Women, I feel like women start accepting things because they're looking at this bigger picture. Well, we're going to get to this finish line though together, right? Yes. So I'm just going to take this, he'll go through it and we'll work through it, but we're going to be here. We're going to be on our porch as senior citizens rocking, right? So like, but maybe that's not the journey that we're supposed to be on.
And sometimes people are just for that now. Sometimes just enjoying them for that present moment and then move on. And also too, knowing how to let go too. Yeah, that's true. If you stay in the present, you gonna know how to let go. Yeah. You're not gonna hold on. When you too, that's what I say, if you too far back or forward, you're gonna not be able to know what's going on, to be like, this is what you need to know now, because it's in your face. But when you too far ahead and you're not gonna see everything because you are too all over the place. And that's something I had to learn. and with dating. So now I know how to let people go because I'm in the present. I'm not thinking, oh, well, we go out 2 weeks from now, we're gonna have a good no. If you said that you was gonna take me out, you need to be planning that out, and either A, need to be communicating your way, like, well, can you pick the restaurant, or can you, these type of things, then cool. But if you're not saying anything, how can I feel like we are in the present? I'm either in the past because I'm thinking, oh, he was so cool the other day, and then now I'm thinking in the future, like, oh, well, we gonna go out 5 weeks, 2 weeks from now, and it's gonna be fun. That's a maybe.
Ooh, yeah.
That's a maybe. I don't know if that's gonna happen.
But what if you just had that experience where you're just like, oh, this trigger, I'm seeing red flags, but we got this plan that's coming up.
And I'm just at a place where it's a no for me.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's not gonna work out for me. Because a guy, and one thing I've learned about men, any married man, we could talk to right now, a married man is with his wife. He made that decision. That's why a man proposed and all that stuff, because they set the tone. They know what they want.
Yeah.
And I think with a lot of women, we think we can change. Can't change no man's mind. If he wants you, he will show you. He gonna show up. He's gonna do everything he needs to do. And that's what's so awesome about men. Men are so brilliant and so amazing because they know what they want. When you get with a guy that wants you, you gonna be so smitten and just at awe, because he's gonna do all the things that you didn't have before. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
He gonna come get you. Okay?
He gonna come get you. He gonna pop out. He gonna pop out and show people. Yes. I ain't gonna say the other word.
You don't want nobody.
He gonna pop out and show people.
Have a chance with you.
Exactly. Yeah. So you will know, and that's one thing I've told myself, Monique. When you start dating, you will know if he wants you. A man is gonna be a man, and you know the difference between a male and a man.
Yeah, because there's a difference for sure. Yeah,
it's like a whole nother world. So, and that's with dating. That's what I told myself. It's a difference, and stay in the present. Don't sit up there and try to put up this whole like made up story in your head. Like, he's a good person. And he's this and all this other stuff. No, falling in love with potential. Like, why am I falling in love with that? I don't know what he could be. Do he know? I know what I am, but I can't sit up there and sell my potential. Most men ain't gonna be with a woman that's selling potential. I'm just saying.
I could potentially cook one day.
Yeah, they're not gonna do it. They want to. Because men are very simple. And it's not, because I don't like to say simple because I don't know what other word to put there. But they are very simple, and they know what they want. And they are my mom always used to say one track mind. They are on one thing, they doing it, and which is we all should kind of be that way. That's just my opinion. Yeah. When you're doing something, do that one thing, get it done, and do it effectively. When you are all over the place, you can't do everything at once. So sometimes men got a good. They know what they doing when they do the one thing at a time. However, trying to make them into something or put a whole story up of what you see is you're not gonna win at the end. You just seeing this whole story, and then you make this up. So now you're dating somebody that is not gonna go nowhere, and that's something that I told myself. We not doing this. We not making up no story to put it on a person like this person is this, and everybody around you like, girl, no. Yeah. I don't see. What do you see in him, girl?
What's attracting you to this person?
What is going on? He is a no.
Yeah.
And it's a red flag if everybody around you hates your person. I'm just saying. That's a red flag.
Yeah. Especially if they can the person can be likable, right? But not for you. Yeah. And people will see that before you see that. Yeah. And one of the things that I realized with dating is that you can have this this energy towards a person and this dynamic and draw to a person, and they can feel it too, right? But does that mean that it's supposed to be a relationship, right? True. And a lot of times people don't know when to call it. And I feel like that's usually a lesson for us, right? Yeah. Like to learn and it draws out what our weaknesses are, the things that we still need to work on.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true. Yeah. It's very true. Very, very true. Yeah, I feel like because I have done a lot of work of what I don't want to deal with. And I've been very intentional to say something right away and not let it go too far, because then you get attached to nothing.
Yeah.
And then they know
you're
that they
getting
can play
nothing.
with you because you didn't took all this stuff. So I just say it's not for me. And I always keep it cool and open, you know, because sometimes timing is everything. Sometimes people
Yeah.
don't have the time. But I also will tell women and men, don't play with people if you're not
No.
ready. If
Just
you're that's
wait
not
until
what you
you're
want to
ready,
do.
or
And if you have to be in something, a relationship or something like that, then you need to go to therapy, because it's something that's missing there.
yeah.
And usually most people have abandonment issues, like they feel abandoned. And I had abandonment issues. That I lost my father at 19 due to suicide. My dad took his life in prison. And I had abandonment issues, and I didn't know that. So that long relationship, a lot of that was abandonment issues.
Yeah.
You
And
know
how
what I'm
long
saying?
was he out of in prison?
He
Is
was
out of
in
your life as
prison.
well.
So he was in and out of my life. He wasn't a father figure, but I did have a father figure, which is, I was just thinking about this the other day. I actually talked about it on my story. But he was in and out, so I knew who he was. He was in and out since I was a little girl. And he was on drugs. He was just going through life stuff, like, and he had a lot of mental health issues and stuff, because that's a mental, you know, you on drugs, you're doing these things, you in the streets. He went to prison. He was in prison for maybe like 2 years, and he was about to get out, and he ended up killing himself. And I believe, and this is just my, you know, opinion about it, I believe that he had to start all over. And that put him in a place of like, I don't want to start all over. He's always been in and out of drugs. So he had a lot going on, and I think he just gave up. And that's just my personal opinion about it. But I know when I was dating, I did have abandonment issue, and that's why I felt that, oh, I'm going to be in a relationship for a long time. I'm going to show people I could be in a relationship and make it work and be a ride or die. That sometimes is a ride or die and die.
Yeah.
Because you're not caring about yourself, and are you doing damage to them by staying too?
Yeah.
Because they're not learning
The lessons they
either.
need to
They're not
learn.
learning from walk away.
Yeah.
And some people just, you know, they're not gonna learn. But you putting yourself ahead of like you putting yourself first and loving yourself will show people how to love you too. So I stayed thinking that was the way. That was abandonment issues. Me thinking, okay, well, I'm staying here because I don't want to leave him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, because I didn't want to abandon him. And so I had to learn, it's not abandoning him, it's choosing yourself, and you're doing the right thing because you're showing people how to treat you, and you also letting them know this is not okay. This is not okay. You have to make people hold themselves accountable. So,
For sure.
and some people in relationships don't know that. They don't hold people accountable. They don't have boundaries. They don't say no. They really don't know what they want. And this is, I said, this time around, you know, I will say 100%, I'm not perfect, but I do know the things that I want. I do know what type of relationship I want to invite in my life. I do want to speak up more. I do know that I need to have straight boundaries with a lot of stuff when it comes to relationships, because if you don't want to do something, why do it? You know, you just pacifying them, but then you're all unhappy with decisions and stuff. So you got to know what you want. And alignment is everything.
Yes. So we have to align on our goals.
You got to align. You have your morals, all that stuff has to be aligned. You can't just be dating somebody and his vision way over there and yours in the middle.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. You have to be aligned. So, yeah.
Yeah. And one of the things, like, if he's looking for a housewife, but you're not that, you can't put yourself in that type of box, right?
I agree.
I'm not the person for you, though I love you,
Yeah.
right? And
a lot of housewives don't want to be housewives. I'm just saying.
not anymore.
We didn't came too far. It's so much stuff that, and we, like you said, we have our own purpose.
Yeah.
So a lot of housewives, and I wouldn't say all, but a lot of them don't want to be housewives either. They just don't want to be single, because I was that way where, and I'm not talking for everybody, because some people do want to be housewives. I'm saying some women don't.
Yeah.
but they choose it because they feel like that's what they supposed to do.
Yeah.
And that's why I was in a very long relationship, because I felt like I didn't have guys make me feel comfortable because make me feel uncomfortable or make me feel bad that I wasn't in a relationship.
Yeah.
And I was like, that doesn't make me who I am. It is a part of me. And I said, once people start understanding it's a part of you, and it's an amazing part of you, because I'm very big on love.
I love love.
I do too. I'm very big on love. I do miss being in a relationship. But if you don't know who you are and you don't love yourself first, you are doing a disservice to that relationship. I don't care who it is. You're doing a disservice. Because later on, those feelings, you choosing to be a housewife for that person because society tells you to be this person, you're going to end up not happy, and then you can end up going down a rabbit hole. Like, you can literally you could spiral, depression. A lot of people commit suicide. It's so much stuff by making those type of decisions. And that's why I will say I am happy that I did heal myself so I won't make that same mistake by going in a relationship, being with somebody for so long and losing myself. I literally lost myself because I was in that long relationship. But look at God. He put me in that car accident. He restarted my whole life and put me right back. This is what you supposed to be doing. I told you this.
And I'm still gonna give you that.
And I'm gonna still get a partner.
But first, this is what I need you to do.
Because I'm no good to nobody.
Yeah.
I'm no good to my future husband if I'm not happy. And for him too. I don't want him to be choosing me and you not happy. Choose who is good for you. Yeah. Like, don't choose me because it works and we have good chemistry. No. Choose what's best for you and what is aligned with you. That will work better than just choosing somebody.
Yeah.
So I will say that. I will say this too, but don't marry just to marry too for your seat filler, because that's not cool either. But do what's best for your alignment, because God put us on this earth with a purpose, and we supposed to fulfill that purpose. So that's just my take of it. But yeah,
I definitely believe like self-love attributes to your ability to properly love, right? And to love wholly. And when you meet the right person, you're able to love them through and through, because they're able to love you through and through as well, because they love themselves too. Yeah. So I think that you do meet people where you are, in a sense, right? You meet people who aren't there, right? That are attracted to the light that you have in you. But then the person that you're supposed to be with will match you, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So
yeah, I do. I believe that. Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. I do believe like that inconsistency usually is attributed to like someone who sees your light and wants to be that way. And but they cannot do it because they have not done the work yet within themselves. Yeah. So they can't consistently be there, and they can't show up the way they would like to show up for you. And so it doesn't mean that they don't like you, love you, or want you. It's just that they have to figure it out on their own. And like you said, the time just don't align. Yeah. Right.
And sometimes people don't have the capacity.
And they don't have the capacity.
They don't have no more room on their plate. Yeah. And sometimes you gotta know when I was talking about this last time, like you gotta know when to take stuff on and off your plate. And you gotta sometimes not overload your plate, because sometimes you don't have it mentally, physically, emotionally. You don't have that to be putting all that on your plate. And so I would say knowing yourself will stop those type of things, and that's I always talk about fitness. Fitness is so amazing because I've learned myself, and I'm building the healthy habits versus the unhealthy habits, because when you're doing stuff you're not supposed to do, you just start building and start spiraling into that. When you getting up, you building discipline, you are consistency and all these things. So fitness have put me in a different mindset of making myself better and putting myself in, loving on myself, self-love. So yeah, fitness is a good one. But yeah, don't put too much on your plate. If you not, that ain't for you, don't even do it. And it's okay.
It's okay.
Say, she ain't it. He ain't it. It's okay. It's okay to walk away from people too. I was telling somebody not too long ago, I am okay with being single. And I said, I did not think I would ever, because I'm so used to being in a relationship, because I love my company And I know that I'm here for a reason, and I know it will happen. It's just the timing not right. So.
Yeah. So let's talk about sex.
Okay.
In the city, right?
Okay. Okay.
So I seen your birthday party thing was Mo in the city,
Yes.
right? And all things Carrie Bradshaw. And Carrie Bradshaw is the single lady that is a complete hopeless romantic, right?
Yeah.
So you can't help but to love Carrie Bradshaw, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about how that theme came about, how you relate to the Sex and the City theme. I just thought it was I thought it was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Y'all should go watch some of those clips and stuff, because I had a really good time shooting Sex in the City. But so after like my car accident, me getting to know myself, being single, I didn't get to watch Sex in the City when I was younger at all. Like, I didn't get to watch it. So I started watching it in my 30s, and I was hooked like to Sex in the City. And so me and my friend Elena, we went to Bali in October of last year. But
yeah.
Okay. So went to Bali, and I was having a very much so like I went through a lot of stuff. I got sick out there, got Bali belly, but I felt so sexy and strong and resilient out there. I don't know where it came from. I don't know. It was just something that I just felt. I was just feeling different. And I was like, so we was we was watching Sex in the City, because I told her, I was like, girl, you need to get up on Sex in the City, because she younger, she's in her 20s. So I was like, girl, you need to get Sex in the City. So she was like, okay. So we was watching it. And so after we finished watching the episode, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have a Sex in the City thing. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do Sex in the City. And so as, the ideas start developing, and I was like, well, what can I do instead of having the sex? Because it's going on social media. What should I do? So I was like, oh, I'm turning 40 in the city. Then Mo in the city came. So I did both of them. Like at my party, I did both. I did 40 in the city and then Mo in the city. And so what I did was I planned content. So I wanted to do like their skits. I wanted to do it's one of my favorite ones. I didn't get to do it how I wanted to do it, because we had to do it in Nordstrom's, and Terry forgot his mics. But we did it. It was cool, but it was hard to like focus. So I didn't get to do it like I wanted to. But I had styled myself for my party, and I wanted to wear the Manolo Blahniks that she wore, so I found them. I didn't think I would be able to find them.
When I seen that on your page, I was like, oh my God, she got the Manolo Blahniks.
They're the Manolo Blahniks. They're exactly
from the show.
From the show. The one she yelling. The only thing is hers was a little taller.
Yeah.
Because hers was tall. Hers and I can't wear I'm 5'9". I can't wear no 4-inch heels. So mine are like 2.5. And they're comfortable though. I didn't think it was gonna be comfortable. But so me and Terry redid the skit of her yelling when she was with her publisher, and she was yelling, talking about, oh my God, Monique, these are a shoe. I thought these was a shoe myth. So I redid that. I redid the one with Samantha yelling with the Birkin, which is so crazy, because now the Birkin is like such a thing, because the working from Walmart. So it made all sense, because all the fashion was retrending as I was doing it. Even the baguette purse from Fendi is like a really iconic purse, but it became iconic because Sex in the City. So I started like teaching myself. I didn't even know a lot of these facts, and now I'm in fashion. I'm like, okay, well, this is a good thing to know, like all this information. And it just made sense with who I am. I love fashion. I'm a fashion girl. Sex in the City is very much so fashion. I learned so much for fashion from Sex in the City. Like, looking up fashion from Sex and the City, you will learn so much. And the Birkin like basically debuted in Sex and the City, so it just made sense to do it. And so when I started planning the party, and I just basically gave her my theme. I wanted to, because I told myself, I really, really just want a party where I don't have to do nothing. And I made sure that this is what I was doing. So I did. 'Cause I'm turning 40. I'm having a big old birthday party, and that's exactly what I did. So I told my party planner, Jasmine, I told her I want a Sex in the City theme. We talked for a good hour and some change. She showed me the space. This is what I want. And she did exactly what I
Yes.
envisioned. I wanted it to be so classy and clean, and it was amazing. I had such a good time, and it was exactly what I wanted. I wanted it to be simple, but just beautiful. And it was exactly that. And everybody that I wanted to be there was there. I didn't want to have like, because I could have had like a 100 people party, but I was like, I don't want all those people around me.
More
I could
intimate.
barely keep up with the 50 people that was up in there. I'm like, this too many people. Also, too, I'm such a loner that sometimes when I'm around a lot of people, I kind of go into like
shell.
anxiety and stuff. I didn't get anxiety but it just, I be feeling bad. I feel guilty that I can't talk to people. Or, I have a thing where I like to show love and stuff. So I didn't want that many people at my party. So I did 50. And it was good. It was like people came from all over, but Sex and the City was a really good theme. And I seen that people did it, but I was like, they not gonna do it like Mo gonna do it. So I made sure I like turned up, turned out. So it was good. And I did a whole birthday weekend. I did a fitness birthday party because I'm very big in fitness. And I had people that couldn't like come. I invited them to that. And then I did a Napa. And I remember when Big, he went to Napa and she was like, you take a Napa, you don't move to Napa. So
because he was coming from New York and moving to Napa, and so he was not leaving New York.
She was like, So he moved to Napa, so I was like, we gotta do a Napa trip. So it just made everything was Sex in the City. Like fitness was big on the show because Charlotte, she ran, she was a runner, and I'm a runner. And Miranda, she worked out, she ran too. So I just wanted to make sure that it was very Sex in the City. Like the whole weekend was Sex in the City.
Yeah.
So it was fun. We turned up. I had a really, really good birthday, but I would say celebrate yourself. Nobody's gonna celebrate you like you are. So celebrate yourself, show yourself, because that's giving you confidence. Get dressed. That's confident. Clothing gives you like the most crazy confidence you can ever have. I think a lot of times people don't understand how much clothing gives and build confidence. Because I know like we could go back a little bit when we was in school, how we felt about our new kicks we were about to put on. We laid our outfit out. Do that every day. Lay your stuff out. Be happy and proud of your looks. It will build so much confidence and help you with your confidence. So yeah, I just wanted to do Sex in the City because I knew I could do it in a way. And it's an iconic show. Carrie, I loved her character. I feel like I'm Carrie and Samantha mixed together.
Okay, I feel like we all are mixed.
Yeah, we mixed with a little bit of everyone because I know I could be very much so Charlotte. And Charlotte, like if we go for zodiac signs, because I found out all these zodiac signs. So Carrie is a Libra.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, she's a Libra. Samantha is a Taurus.
Okay.
And Charlotte is Aquarius. So I'm actually Charlotte because I'm Aquarius.
Okay.
And then Miranda was a Leo, I think. I think she was a Leo.
She act like a Leo.
She's like a Leo. Yeah. But she so I was like, well, I'm more, but I am conservative though. I'm very conservative. Like when I need to get dressed and I know how to dress for where I'm going. I would say that. So if I'm going somewhere where I have to cover up or do anything, I know how to pop out and I'm going to look good while I'm doing it. That's just how I've always been. I also grew up in church. So my grandma so she didn't play that. You wear stockings with your skirt. Like she didn't play that. So I know how to, just be super conservative. So I do kind of feel like I'm a lot of Charlotte. But I think with Carrie, I have definitely been the person.
That fashion, I feel like, and just like that fun personality that she has. Like, she has in the love aspect. Like, no matter how many times she kind of goes through, she's able to really love.
As you should. One thing I would say, and this is to Black women. I'm going to say this to Black women because I know for us it's a little different because we've been through so much and we have so much history with things that we've been through. But I would say heal when you leave somebody so you're able to love the next person so openly. You don't want to get in a place where you feel like because you've been hurt, everybody gonna hurt you. Everybody's not gonna hurt you. And also too, knowing when to leave.
No, wouldn't leave.
You might not, and my mom always says, "Hey, you might not be this hurt if you know how to leave."
Yeah.
It's
limit,
so
limit
true.
the damage.
Limit the damage. So knowing when your exit, it's time for your exit. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, but I'm so big on not put myself in a bitter place because of somebody else. That was their stuff. My therapist always say that's their stuff. Allow them to have their stuff. You know, assess it. Make sure that you know what happened so you can take your accountability. I believe women need to take their accountability in the relationship. We are also at fault. We might not be at a big fault, but we have done something to allow, to condone. You gotta just look at those things. Those are allowing somebody to do you wrong. So how can you feel like it's just their fault? Somebody's gonna take advantage of you if you let them. If that's that type of person they are. So you have to look at it that way. So for me, I've learned when I move on or when something don't work, take accountability, sit in it, cry, do what I need to do, and then allow myself to move on. So when that next person come along, I can love them. So that's why Carrie was able, because she did sit in her stuff. She was single. She had moments where she wasn't, where she kept attracting crazy dudes and stuff. But I remember when she had messed with that one dude at therapy. I think it was at therapy. And she was like, what'd she say? She said, I think it was at therapy. And she said, I keep attracting the same man. This is my fault. Yeah. And so from there, she started really upset. But you can also, because she was a writer, so that's why she was always in her head. She was always speaking and talking. Sometimes you got to be in your head and tell yourself, look, you're tripping. It's on you. You know, so, and I like that she always took accountability when she was
always
wrong.
did. And for sure.
When she was wrong, she took accountability.
And I really love that show because I bought all the DVDs. I will tell you, I did do that because it really taught me a lot about relationships, relationship dynamics, how people think, how people, you know, and it's real. And you see those same traits in your friendships too. You'll see them in you're able to call it because you've seen it before, right? And a lot of people they don't know what they're going through when they're going through it. So in that, right? Like, so there was Mr. Big and then there was Aiden. I feel like those were her loves. Who is your pick for Carrie?
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be very, very honest. I'm gonna pick both of them, but I'm gonna pick both of them because I'm gonna say something. Okay. Pick Big for the sex, because because it seemed like it was amazing. So it was a reason why she picked him for that. Whatever. I think the connection was super there. So connection, it's nothing like a connection. You're gonna always draw back to, and I think that's what they draw back was. It was always a connection. And you don't connect with a lot of people in those type of ways. So connection is everything. However, if I'm picking my husband, it will be Aiden. And it will be Aiden because Aiden was everything Big was not. And then he was the things that Big was as well. And that's why I think she kept going back to Aiden as well, with such a connection with him, because she did the same thing with both of them. The thing with Aiden was Aiden loved her openly. He loved her big. He loved her unconditional. And I think for me and what I want, because how I want somebody to love me unconditional because I'm going to love you. I'm a person that I love to be feminine and soft. I don't want to be masculine at all. I don't care what it is. I want to be dainty. Period. I hold my purse. I'm like this anyway, even without a bed. I'm just saying. But Aiden loved Carrie. And the love that he had, you could feel it through the screen, like how much he loved her. And when women want love, that's what they want. Most women want that type of love.
That's what we say we want.
Yeah,
And then
but
when
I
we
think
get it-
someone, because they're not healed.
Because we're not healed.
They're
we
not
damaged
healed.
The person.
She was not healed, and she was so attached to the connection of her and Big and the
It
sex.
was still there.
Because women get attached to sex. They
Yeah.
get sex to the
Mm-hmm.
So that's what she was connected on. And I think that connected right away when she met him and they had like the weird connection. She picked up her purse and he helped her put the stuff and she seen him and then she kept running into him. So she thought
It was that
this is me.
story and it's meant to be and it's that
It's-
draw and it's that fairy tale. And
Exactly. And then
hopeless romantic.
Aiden was like, she went into the.
It was easy.
It was, yeah. She went into the, because that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And she said it. She was like, you know, I think because the reason why I'm not attached to him or she's feeling away because it's not that chase. It's not that you're not supposed to do all that and vice versa. It's supposed to be just as easy it is for a man. It should work. It should be aligned. And her and Aiden was aligned. That's why in Just Like That, they're back together.
Yeah.
So it was, the world was always going to bring them back together. And that's why I tell people, like, just wait your turn. It will happen. That's why I'm just all that forcing is something that I'm not big on ever. Like, I'm not big on forcing anything.
Yeah.
Because if it's meant for you, it will find you.
It will find you. Now you watch the movies, obviously, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So one of my favorite things that a lot of people don't get, but I know you're gonna get it, is Another One Bites the Dust. Right.
Okay.
That's from when she was reading the book with Carrie's daughter, the Asian baby that they adopted.
Charlotte.
Right?
Charlotte's
daughter. I'm sorry, Charlotte's daughter. And she was reading the fairy tale, and then she restarts the book every single time, and she's like, "Well, another one bites the dust." Whenever she said, "Read it again," another one bites the dust, and she reopens the book. And she starts over, but the fairy tale begins over again, right? And it's still as good as the first time she told the story. And that's one of the things that I love. And it helps me when I go into a new situation and just understand, well, this story ended. And put that at peace. And okay, now it's time to open a new book, new fairy tale, new prince. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Right. So, but yeah. It's so much to learn from that show, especially when it comes to love and dynamics and things like that. So,
but I would just say heal.
Heal first.
Heal.
Yeah.
Heal yourself if somebody have hurt you. And sometimes going around and around. I mean, you can't predict these things, though. I will be very realistic. You can't predict these things. But I would say know what you're getting yourself into and know yourself well enough for what you going to deal with, you know? But love can be tricky. It's one of those things that sometimes you don't know what it exactly is, and you thinking it's love and it could be lust, or you think, you know. So it's things that could confuse you, but knowing yourself will know what you will put yourself in and what you will not. So that's number one: self-love, boundaries, knows. But I will say Carrie did. She believed in love so much that she ended up with. She wanted Big. She ended up with Big, and now she with Aiden. Big passed away, and now she with Aiden. So she got both of her loves.
Both her soulmates.
So, but she was being herself with everything.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why I tell women, look, be yourself. Don't sit up there and just don't say nothing. Because I think Carrie didn't do that. Karen was a little firecracker.
Oh,
she didn't play about her stuff. She said how she felt. She was fiery. She spoke up.
She cried when she needed to cry. She yelled when
do
she
what
needed
you
to
need to
yell.
do. Don't sit up there and try to be this little dainty girl and don't say nothing. Speak up. Men like you to speak up. They don't want you to just be like, oh, I'm just sitting here. And some men do, but I just feel like because they want that way, and I don't approve of that.
Yeah.
But a man that cares about your feelings, they will allow you to be yourself and be authentic. So that's just what I've learned dating and starting to understand a male and a man.
Right.
So, yeah.
For sure. Okay. Well, that was great. A great conversation.
Yes.
I do want to go into what you are doing next and how can people find you? How can people connect with you? But let's start with what's coming up next for you.
Okay, what's coming up next? So I'm working on a couple projects. Some stuff is like, because I'm still trying to build it. But I am building my brand. I'm definitely doing a mental health month in May. Because mental health is everything and I'm really big on it. No matter what business I'm in, I'm gonna always shed light on mental health because it got me here. And yeah, I have a fitness challenge that I'm about to train for. I'm doing the Oakland Marathon. I am doing the high rides in New York. And I'm trying to go to the Met Gala. Well, not
Okay.
the Met Gala, but the Met Museum, not the Met Gala. But I would love to see the Met Gala. But
Yeah.
it's in that week that I'm going. So hopefully I could figure something
Absorb
out.
some of that
Yeah.
fashion that's going on out there.
Yes. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna definitely be doing stuff. But I'm just preparing myself for the bigger things that I'm planning for. And then I'm learning fashion. I am rebranding my brand. So I'm actually redoing my website.
You're revamping revamp.
Revamp people.
Okay.
Yeah. So because there's just some things I just need to tighten up. I think when you're growing in business, you're supposed to change stuff as you go and what fits your brand as years go on. So that I'm just rechanging some stuff around. I have a client that I just did a video shoot with this past like week. I just styled her for a show yesterday. And we did a lot of projects last year. She had released the album. And I'm on her vinyl because I styled her on her vinyl. So that's really cool. But I have like a lot of like just projects coming up. I have one upcoming artist that I've been working with. She has a shoot on it's coming up. It's in a couple weeks. And then just building my brand. And I'm letting stuff go. Oh, I'm doing a panel next week with children. I'm doing a panel with kids. I'm speaking at a Black History Month assembly. So that's going to be cool. I'm very nervous.
That's not, and you're more nervous about that than
all
these
is
other
cool.
huge things you're doing.
Yeah. I'm very, because these are kids and I want to, one thing about kids and children, I want to drop gems. Yeah. I want things to stick with them. And I think that's what I'm most nervous. I want them to really take what I say or take what whoever's on that panel and just take it and apply it. And I remember like when I went to panels and stuff like that, I remember a lot of stuff because those people cared about going in there to speak to them. You know, they wanted to make sure that they delivered. And I do want to be like, eventually be, I want to be a person that's just talking and speaking to people and helping them out because sometimes that one conversation can change it all. That one panel, that one podcast. So
sometimes a clip,
just like with the flowers, I just said, and I cried like a baby. I was like, why am I crying? But it was so real and it stuck with me. Just like it was another girl. She helped me out with my skin. So I like her. But she said, what you're not changing, you're choosing. Ooh. One of the best quotes ever. She went viral just off of that. But because it sticks with you, it's so true. What are you not like? What are you choosing? What are you, all that stuff? You're not changing it.
You're choosing it.
You're choosing it. Like, so just that, it changed a lot of people and a lot of people reposted it and she went viral off that. And she was viral.
I shared that too.
You shared it too?
Yeah.
and a lot of people don't even know where she started on TikTok because she was eating a sardine. And sardines was high in protein and then good for her skin. That's how she blew up on TikTok. So I was like, oh, I remember her. I ain't seen her in heck of long. And off of sardines. Just a can of sardines. So yeah. So I just want the kids to take something from me and really change, I hope it changed their lives. So I am very nervous to talk to them. They're the future. And
definitely have to just tell them something that you needed to hear when you were younger.
Yeah. I definitely gonna talk about the flowers though. Our plant is I can use it in the analogy of a plant. The plant is for the present because it's so true. Yeah. So that was a good clip the other day. I was like, oh my God, and I forgot to repost it. I was like, dang.
Yeah.
But I just quoted it and put a little flower, move it back and forth. But it's true.
It is so true.
It is very true.
So true. I love that.
Yeah. Thank you.
So where can we find you? Where can we watch? Where can we connect? Where
So
can we get styling done? Because we need you.
Yes, styling. So styling, you can go on my website or you could DM me. And then soon it will be just my website. So right now it's both. You can go on www.revamppeople.com. That's my website. And then IG and TikTok is revamp people, or is revamp_people. That's my TikTok and my IG. I do not have Facebook, and I don't know if I'm ever get it. Just saying. Cause I'm like, I'm not really big. I was saying this not too long ago. I'm not really big on social media. I'm trying to be better. That's why I'm trying to redo my website so I could.
So your content is really good.
So thank you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be better. I think it takes a lot of energy. I'm an 80s baby.
Yeah.
So it's, we grew up with technology, but we ain't like the other generation where they just.
That's all they do.
That's all they do. And the technology has
advanced
for them. We had the floppy disk, the one that move and make the noise. we had the little square monitor. Okay. Yeah. So it's different. We seen it, change and stuff, but it was a lot to do when we was dealing with it in the beginning. It was a lot of work. We had to blow and stuff.
And download music on wire.
Just go through too much. Everything easy for y'all. Yeah. So I'm just trying to keep up with the easy stuff. So I don't know. I'm just not I'm trying to be better with technology. But yeah, I have that. And things have changed as I'm changing stuff. I did hire somebody to help me out with some stuff with the media stuff. So let's see what me and her can do. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'm thinking about starting a YouTube with my other brand that I'm starting. And you can actually follow Harambe Art Society on it's in my bio. So go into my bio and click it, and it's one of the links, and then you can click it and it'll take you to Harambe Art Society.
And who's that for? And
Harambe is the new baby that I'm starting.
Okay.
So you could go on there, you could read, it'll tell you everything on there. And I'd rather y'all go on there to see it. So I do it that way. Because then y'all can just go in there and just read, look at the pictures, look at the content we've been making. So we've been making a lot of good content with Harambe. So yeah. So I'm doing some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's all in timing. It's all in God's timing. So when it's time for me to pop out,
you popping out.
I'm popping out. So I'm just waiting patiently. I'm just going to keep working, doing what I need to do, keep studying, keep mastering my craft, and everything going to happen in due time. So, yeah.
I love that.
Thank you.
Well, this has been an episode of Portia's Queen with Monique Bell of Revamp People. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.